Hello people, welcome back to the next part of my playthrough of Final Fantasy X. So for this video, I thought, the last video I took you through all the area conquests. For this video I thought I'd take you through all the species conquests and show you how to defeat them and some of the best, what treats you'll get from each one. So let's go through them all one by one. So let's start this one, the Fenrir. So the Fenrir is the ultimate wolf, and to be perfectly honest with you, this thing is a humongous pain in the rectum because it has got very high evasion. I'll show you. Even it pretty much dodges everything. You'll need if you want to hit this, you're going to need super high accuracy. You can steal chocobo feathers from it, and I think you can rare steal chocobo wings. But the best technique for this in the early stages, until you've got high enough accuracy, is to summon or grand summon anima and just use Oblivion on it. I know that's kind of cheating, but as I say, until your accuracy becomes a lot higher, you're going to be relying on this a lot to beat this thing. And Oblivion should kill it straight away. So that's how you defeat that, and you'll get 2 agility spheres if you overkill it. You'll only get 1 if you don't overkill it. So the next one is the Ornitholestes. That sounds like it should be a bird, but it's actually the ultimate lizard. This is another one that's got quite high evasion, although this one is nowhere near as bad as the Fenrir. So a couple of aims should help you out here. And then spam it with some, if they land, of course, spam it with some quick hits. And let me see how high this thing's magic defense is, because I've got a feeling it's going to be quite high magic defense. This is, yeah, it's kind of useless. This thing can poison you, so just watch out for that. So your best technique is get your players with the highest accuracy to just whack it about a bit, and if need be, cheat and summon animas if you need to. I'm going to try attack reels on this thing, because it's got quite a lot of HP. So that's more like it. And you get 4 gambler spirits from that thing. Yeah, I don't really like the ultimate lizard, because it's a long fight and you don't really get much good out of it. So let's move on to the next thing. Next thing is the Pteryx. This is the ultimate bird. I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but this thing is another thing that's got a very high evasion. But on the plus side, it has very low HP, so you can take this out in 2 hits if you can. If they land, of course. I think this and the Fenrir have got the highest evasion in the monster arena. Feel free to spam a few aims to help get your accuracy up. And try again. And let's see if we can kill it this time. Yes! Oh, but we didn't overkill it, so we will only get. Oh, we get a dark matter from that. So that thing normally drops evasion spheres. Obviously 1 for a normal kill, 2 for an overkill. And the other thing to watch, if it attacks you, it attacks with a thing called Beak of Woe. And the first time he does it, it will attack all 3 of your enemies, all 3 of your team, and that puts curse on everyone, so you can't use overdrives against it. So let's move on next to the Hornet. The Hornet is the ultimate wasp, and this is another one that's got quite high evasion, although not as bad as the Fenrir and the Terex. If you want to put a couple of aims on to increase your accuracy, and then just spam it with quick hit. That thing's attacks attacks with a few things that can put status elements on you. If it uses Bewitching Stab, that will confuse whoever it hits. Venomous Stab is poisonous, and if it just does an ordinary attack, it can take you out. But if you survive it, then it'll put everything else on. Like you probably saw, it put silence and sleep on you. Okay, I'm gonna get Lulu out because she's not a very good attacker. I have just been including her as this because I need to level her up. She's the only one who hasn't got a completed sphere grid yet. But, well, I say completed, all the spheres that the original spheres have been activated, and okay, I'll show you what I mean. Waka basically has just about all the connections and all the original nodes activated, and there's just a few spaces where like I put new spheres in, so but basically it's kind of like a maxed out sphere grid. Anyway, so the next monster we're going to take on, so on the Hornet, is the Vidatu. This is another one that has got very high evasion. But it's in fact, I'm just going to take a chance on this. It's one that you can, if you're strong enough, you can take it out in 1 hit. But it's very evasive, so it doesn't always work. So if you need to put on a couple of aims, another aim. losers, but it is one of the few monsters in the monster arena you can take out in one hit, and it will drop MP spheres. Now, I have already maxed out people's MP, so don't really need them. Although sometimes handy to have in case I have accidentally cleared a couple of spheres I didn't want to, so always handy to have in case you do something like that. So next is the One Eye. You've seen that in previous videos because it drops triple AP weapons. This is in the early stages it's quite evasive, but otherwise it's at this stage I'm at, its evasion doesn't really matter because my team's got quite high accuracy for that, and you can take that thing out in 2 hits, so that's an easy one. Now, the Jumbo Flan. Now, I have shown you that in a previous video. The problem you've got with this thing is it is immune to all physical attacks. So you've got 2 options to take this thing on. You can do the reflect trick where you cast reflect on someone and you just cast your magic onto that person with reflect, and that will just bounce off and hit the Jumbo Flan. So that's one option. Don't think his magic is high enough to do anything hugely damaging to this thing. Oh, it's still reasonably high. And just because Lulu really needs to just one other thing to show you, even though it's got reflect on it, Ultimate is the only magic spell that won't reflect. And still does a fair amount of damage. But, all I'm going to do is show you the other good technique, which if you'd watched my previous videos about how sphere grid management, you'll see a better trick is to summon Anima. Anima is by far the most useful summon in the entire game. So buff, particularly in the early stages, buff Anima up with haste and regen. Now, also in early stages, you'll probably want to put Shell onto Anima and give Anima a couple of focuses to get its magic defense up. But at this late stage, Anima's magic defense is really, really high, so it's not worth the Shell and the focus. So just go straight on to the other technique, which is to cast Pain. Because Pain is a magic attack that will land on the Jumbo Flan and just spam it with that attack, and it will eventually go down. Oh, excuse me. And the only other thing to watch the Jumbo Flan sometimes does is he'll cast Reflect onto Anima and then heal itself either by casting Curaga onto Anima and reflecting it back, or it will use regen. And for some strange reason, regen when Jumbo casts regen onto itself, it replenishes like 5-figure amounts of hit points. I don't know why, but yeah, it does that, and it's quite annoying. So make sure that Anima has got Dispel, and then just use Dispel and regen. And yeah, this thing has got a lot of HP, so you will be spamming pain for a while. Yeah. I'm actually at the stage now where I don't even need to put regen onto Anima because their magic defense is so high, and she's got a lot of HP. There we go. Overkill. I didn't need to worry about regen. The land regenning. Now normally that thing would drop you 2 magic spheres. You might have seen that in the previous, but there, get dark matter, because everything here will rare drop dark matter, which is nice, because that 99 dark matters means you can put ribbon onto someone's armor, and ribbon is almost complete protection against almost all status elements. Only thing you have to that it doesn't protect against is curse, but it's a small price to pay. Right, next, the Nega Elemental. This is the ultimate elemental. This thing, I'm pretty sure has reflect, so if you want to attack it with magic, your best bet is to do the reflect trick. It's got quite a high physical defense, and oh fuck, you don't want to do that because that heals it. And I'm also pretty sure this thing is immune to all magic, is immune to all status, all the breaks. And every time you attack it, it counters with Ultima. Now thankfully, we're all pretty well, we've all got pretty high magic defense, so that the Nega Elemental's Ultima isn't particularly strong, so if you want to just put on a couple of focuses just to reduce the damage, feel free. I just did it there. And if you want to put shell on, that's fine too. In fact, I might just buff everyone up with a little shell. Oh shit, oops. Alright, well, as it turns out, it didn't have reflect, but now it does. Oh, right. That's going to be a bother, because... just going to cast regen. 1, 2... Yuna and Lulu. Now, at this stage, even Lulu's... can't see it very well in this because of the high defense, but Lulu's strength is increasing, so... Honestly, the best bet for this one is just to spam it with hard hitters, like in this case Oran, who is gradually going to get better and better at hitting because the more his HP goes down, the more damage he does. And even Yuna's now got really high strength and hitting for 100,000 damage. So maybe you might not want to have Lulu in for this fight because she's not a very high hitter, whereas Titus is. Oof, Jesus, Titus took a fair whack of damage there. Maybe want to put regen and shell onto him. Yeah, the Negam Elemental isn't a particularly useful fight, but in order to unlock the last enemy in the game, you'll have to defeat all of the species creations and all the area conquests and all the original creations at least once. If you do like having reflect on people, you can steal star curtains from that thing, so that does have one use. Get to cast. Heal himself. This is a bit of a long drawn out fight because obviously all the ultimate casting and the fact that it has high HP. That was rubbish. Anything about having high magic defense? Attack like that is pitiful. Let's heal up Titus before he tries to whack that thing again. Because celestial weapons, the amount of damage they do is dependent on the user's HP, whereas Oran is the opposite. He'll do more damage the less HP he has. That's why I'm not healing Oran up just now. Well, I might have to heal him up in a second because... Oh no. Yeah, when I come to do all the original creations, I'll go through them individually, video by rather than do them all in once, because some of them are quite long drawn out fights. There we go, eventually. So yeah, that thing is a monumental pain in the hoop. You get twin stars from them, which I think teach... I've probably got a few... twin stars I think teach Aeon's double cast. Oh no, 3 stars. Twin stars do anything for the... Just gonna have a look to see. Worry about it later. So yeah, just heal up and then we'll go back to the next species conquest, so the Tanket. This is the ultimate shelled creature. Now this thing is not immune to armor break, but you will probably need to hit it a few times with armor break before it will actually land. A good way to test if it's watch its reaction to when it gets hit with armor break. That'll be when it sort of staggers back a bit, that means it's more likely to have landed. There we go, it landed. So once it's landed, just spam it with a quick hit or mug or whatever. And yeah, you'll need to watch out for that rush attack because one is got a high damage, and another thing, it can afflict whoever it hits with Berserk, which isn't always bad, but if you get to a stage where every single person in your team has got hit with Berserk, then that's not good. But your reward for overkilling that is 2 defense spheres. So now, let's just go hit the save sphere. So the next thing is the Fafnir. That is the ultimate dragon. So, this is another thing that you might need to spam with a few armor breaks before they'll land, and then you can start doing serious damage to it. And again, watch its reaction. When you hit it to see if it's landed. That's probably landed, because the way it's staggered a bit. I don't think that's quite landed, because that was a critical hit, and that was... yeah, it's not landed, so keep spamming. Armor break. And also it's a good idea because this thing sometimes does a fire attack that hits everyone. So it's a good idea to put no blaze onto it. Okay, that's the sign of good defense that it attacked someone and didn't kill them. So let's go back to armor breaking it. Oh, I think that's it landed now, so let me just check. Nope, it hasn't quite landed yet. Keep trying. Hello. Yes. It's alright. Sorry, that was my partner just walked in there. Yeah. Sometimes you will need a lot of patience for hitting these armor breaks. Yeah, this is the thing to watch for the... Oh, fuck! Oh, did an ice attack. Oh, you little bastard. Right. Armor break. Ah. So it will vary its, when it does triple attack, it will vary the element that it uses to attack from its breath. Oh, fucker. Right, but on the plus side, I think we finally broke its armor. So let's quick hit. Yes, we did. So there we go. It's gone down now. So from this, you'll get 40 light curtains, which put protect, auto protect or SOS protect on your armor. Right, so next up is the sleep sprout. I think I've done this in a previous battle, but this thing, what you're going to want is someone who can take that thing out in one go, because it can go down in it will go down in one hit if you have someone who can hit with maximum damage, and Waka, as far as I know, is the only person who can do that. And you'll want to do that because if you attack it and you don't kill it, then it will attack with Good Night, which is a stronger version of the pollen attack. That will basically just knock everyone out, and then it will just basically take the whole team out, which is not good. So that's an easy one if you know what you're doing. Next up, the Bomb King. So just a stronger version of the bomb enemies that you've been fighting. So the difference between this and other bomb characters is it will grow, but you need to hit it. Once you hit it, every 3 times you hit it, it will grow. And yeah, it's immune to armor break. So every 3 hits it will grow. And once it gets to full size, it'll start countering all your attacks with Ultima. But I think we're at a strong enough level that it won't get that far. And it drops Doors to Tomorrow. That puts overdrive to AP on your weapons. So if you're serious about, if you're doing the Don Tonbury trick and you didn't get if you need more Doors to Tomorrow, then that's the thing to fight. So next up, the penultimate enemy is the Juggernaut. This is the ultimate horned creature. So this is another thing that you'll need to spam with Armor Break, because Armor Break doesn't always land first go. And again, just watch its reaction. So that's that could be lucky. That might have landed first go. No, it didn't. Okay, it was worth a shot. No, full break, Armor Break. I'm only using full break with Yuna because she has one MP cost on everything, so she can afford to do that. So when it charges, it's just getting ready to do like a big fireball attack. If you want to avoid that, just put Null Blaze onto everyone. Did that land? Nope. Put Null Blaze onto everyone and then that will just nullify the attack. And I'll just do that now. Just in case we don't get this thing defeated in time. So get back to armor breaking. Oh no. Has this worked now? Break the armor, you bloody thing. Salvo is just a big fireball attack, but that does nothing because we Null Blazed everyone. Just keep spamming armor break until either it dies or until you eventually break the armor, whichever comes first. That land? Nope. Hell. There we go. Sometimes killing it comes before breaking its armor. But you'll get 2 strength spheres for overkilling that, which is nice. And the last enemy on this list is the Ironclad. This is the ultimate Iron Giant, and this is probably one of the more difficult ones of the species conquests because it's got very high HP. It's another one you'll need to spam armor break before it lands. And it counters every single attack with... So if you don't have high evasion, which thankfully my guys do, then that thing could take you out. Also, the other thing to watch is all the different attacks that he does. He does it in like in sort of rounds of 3. One, he'll do a repageki, which is just a straight attack. and there's 2 other attacks he does. I think the next one's called something called Bushinzan, and that's horrible because that takes out everyone's MP. Oh, did that land? Let's see if that landed. Yes, it landed. Brilliant. So you'll probably get to see the next attack. Ow. The Shinzan, yeah, that takes out all your MP, and that's gonna render Yuna pretty much weakened because her celestial weapon is dependent on her magic points rather than her hit points. So feel free to bring in other characters. Hit. Ouch. And let's buff these people up a little bit. Okay. Your other option here is that you can bring out Anima and just spam it with attacks from that and buff it up a little bit. Or sometimes the Magus Sisters really help with this fight. But if you're going to bring out the Magus Sisters, bring them out once you've broken its armor. Shin Ryudan is a really hard hit on one of the characters. I'm just gonna bring out the Magus Sisters to try and help take this thing out quicker. And oh, I can also show you this thing is the Magus Sisters limit break or overdrive, sorry, which is combined called a delta attack. It's a bit long drawn out. But it does do a hefty amount of damage. It's probably the second strongest of the Aeon's limit breaks, because the first strongest is Anima's Oblivion, and then there's this one, because it hits multiple times. So yeah, if you're going to bring out the Magus Sisters, make sure you've broke its armor first. So that you can do maximum damage to it. And there we go, overkill. That was a delayed reaction. So your reward for that is getting HP spheres, so it is kind of worth that long drawn out fight. So that's all that I wanted to show you for this video. So for the next video I'll probably start going through all the original creations individually, and then we'll maybe take you through the Dark Aeons. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon for another broadcast.